I'm Jessica, and if you are new to my channel, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. Today I'm going to get very personal and talk about emotional abuse or psychological abuse in relationships specifically. And first of all, I should say that I'm not talking about anything that is happening to me currently. I'm not talking about my current relationship with Hans, my husband. This is going to be talking about a past relationship, something that I have personally gone through, and something that I hope I can help you with if you are currently in an abusive relationship. I have gone back and forth if I've wanted to make this video, and really all there is to it, I want to make the video so that I can hopefully help you get out of a relationship that is abusive if you are in one. So like I kind of mentioned, I was in a very emotional, psychological, abusive relationship years ago. Recently I had someone come to me asking me a bunch of questions about being in an abusive relationship, asking if there was hope for change for the future, and basically telling me what they were going through, which I 100% could relate to because I had gone through exactly the same thing. And I was hurting for days after this person had come to me, hurting for them because I knew what they were going through, and I specifically know the person that they are talking to, and I want to be very vague about that part of it because I don't want to get that person into any worse type of situation. But I feel like I did what I had to do and talked to this person and said what I needed to say to hopefully get that person out of that relationship. But on to more kind of general talk. So being in an emotional relationship can consist of a lot of different things. For me, I was constantly like yelled at, I was constantly talked down upon, constantly told that the reason for that person's happiness was because of me. I had basically like rules, unspoken rules. I knew there was things that I was not allowed to do. I was constantly scared that I was going to say or do the wrong thing. I was basically not allowed to talk to male or female, really, both, because I was always accused of cheating or liking that person. Even at work, when I had to go to work, I felt that I had to be very, very careful about how I talked to people. My phone was constantly gone through by the person I was dating. I felt very stuck and I felt very alone with how I was being treated. I was often felt like it was my fault, and I felt like the reason for the unhappiness in the relationship was because of me. I know now that none of that is true. I'm very close with my family, but I didn't feel like I could go to them because of the way my ex made me feel, and made me feel like it was all my fault constantly. It's crazy to me how long I put up with it, but I know how common it is. You feel stuck, you feel like things might get better, and you just also feel guilty and like it's your fault because that's what you're told, or that's what I was told, basically. But after years and years of going through that relationship, I confided in someone. I told them and opened up to them what I was going through. This person was kind of an outside person. It wasn't my family. So I felt okay about it because this person just knew me for me, and I guess, I don't know how to explain why I didn't know. I just didn't feel, I don't know. I was pretty open with my family, I guess, about certain aspects of it, but I would always dull it down and make it seem like we just maybe fought a lot or something like that, because I just didn't want my family to worry about me, I guess. And like I said, I just always felt like it was my fault. But when I found this person that I felt safe about talking to, I started to get confidence, and I started to see that it was not my fault. This person really opened my eyes and just made me realize that the relationship that I was in was very unhealthy. It was something I did not deserve, and it was not my fault. Soon after, I felt confident enough to get out of that relationship, and I feel very, very lucky for that. I know that's not the case for a lot of people, and I know that a lot of people continue to stay in a relationship like that where they feel stuck. So I guess I would say that my number one hope and wish for you is that you find someone that you will open up to and be honest, and not to feel like it's your fault at all. And I know how hard that is, because I had a lot of chances, probably looking back, to where I probably could have opened up to someone sooner, but it's almost like it has to be the right time where you feel, I don't know, just like where you feel like you've had enough. And it's really sad that it has to get to that point. I hope that people can get out of a relationship, or I hope you can get out before you feel like that. But I'm just saying, for me personally, that was what it took, and that's sad. So I hope that if you are in a relationship where you feel that you are not being treated right, I hope that right now you can feel confident and know that you do not deserve this. There is so much more happiness out there for you, and there is hope, and you will get back on your feet feeling confident and happy, and there's just such a better life out there for you. And I hope that you can hear these words that are coming out of my mouth and just trust me. I'm going to have a phone number down below that you can call, and if you are someone who is like questioning, are you in a relationship like this, I'm going to have like a quiz down below where you can answer a bunch of questions, and it will tell you like if you're in an abusive relationship or not. But I would say chances are, if you're questioning it, you are. And even if it's not physical abuse, or it's not something that's going on all the time, if you feel any bit of yourself knowing that your relationship is not healthy or happy, and you don't have hope that it can get better, I would say you need to get out of it. I can imagine that getting out of an abusive relationship when you're married or you have kids will be, or would be, a lot trickier. You know, I was not married, I didn't have kids at the time. I know it was probably a lot easier for me to get out of, but I will say I put up with that relationship for 5 years, and no, just no. I'm going to read a couple things for you. They're like kind of like signs that you can look for that can help you, I guess, decide if you're in an abusive relationship. I don't know. So if your spouse or person that you're dating humiliates or embarrasses you, constant put downs, hypercriticism, refusing to communicate, ignoring or excluding you, provocative behavior with opposite sex, I don't know, that's kind of weird, use of sarcasm and unpleasant tone of voice, unreasonable jealousy, extreme moodiness, mean jokes or constantly making fun of you, domination and control, withdrawal of affection, guilt trips, making anything your fault, isolating you from friends and family, using money to control you, constant calling or texting when you are not with him or her, threatening to commit suicide if you leave. Now, I'll be honest, I feel like some of those could probably be like a normal thing that certain relationships go through that I wouldn't consider emotional abuse. Like, I don't know. Anyways, I guess the point is, I feel like if you are just constantly feeling like the person you are dating or married to is just constantly putting you down, making you feel like you have rules, making you not feel good inside, telling you that you're the reason for, like, you know, their unhappiness or anything like that, there's just so much that it could involve, and probably even more than I went through. But just because emotional abuse might not be so talked about as physical abuse, it's still just as important. And I don't know if it's talked about as much. I think it can be hard for people to talk about because with like physical abuse, you know, there's like proof that something's being done, like physical proof. But with emotional and psychological abuse, the only proof that there is that feeling that you have inside. And I think that's why it can be so scary and so hard to possibly get out of a relationship like that. But that's why I'm making this video. I just hope that it will help even one person, and if not, then I'm just here to tell you my story and to tell you that I have moved on from that. I am healed from that. It took a lot of inner healing, and it took a lot of, I've gone through counseling, and I've had to basically even forgiven myself. Like for a while I felt a lot of guilt for me like putting up with that. But yeah, so there is hope. You don't have to be in a relationship like that, and I know that it can be scary, but find someone that you can open up to, and I really think that's the first step. And I hope that you guys found this helpful. You can feel free to message me if you are in a situation like this. I will have my email listed below. I mean, I'm not a professional, obviously, but hopefully I could guide you in a way that might be helpful. And I hope that that person that I spoke about earlier that messaged me, I hope that they will take the advice that I gave them, and I hope for them to have a happy life, because I know it's possible, and I know from experience that the relationship they are in right now is not going to change. They do not deserve to be treated the way that they're being treated, and I will talk to you guys in the next video. Bye.